My name is KELECHI Okafor and I'm a personal trainer and actress. I help black women to become more confident with where my knowledge lies, which is fitness. I focus on the fitness because our bodies are important. Throughout history, black women have been drawn as, the mammies, overweight and just presented in that way, almost like you're the caregivers. It's okay to just be there and, not necessarily think about your health. But we have to think about our health. We have to think about reproductive health, cardiovascular health, and mental health, emotional health. We need help. We need more people. We need to have more solidarity. So if I can help from a fitness and well-being perspective, well, then that makes me feel that I'm using my personal in a political way. Pole dance is the way that I help women to become more confident because pole dance has so many stigmas. But when you look at it, it's a brilliant way to build strength and it's a really brilliant way to connect with sensuality. It's the same with twerk. There is power in the female sensuality. There is immense power there and society doesn't necessarily want us to engage with that power, but more importantly, not to utilize that power. So through twerk that people might deem as, irrelevant or pole dance is irrelevant, all of these things play a part in connecting with one's sensuality because once you connect with that, you can't really be shaken. The first thing I always say when a woman wants to train with me is that they're beautiful regardless. Whatever happens, they're still beautiful. I think a lot of people come thinking, well, if I lose weight, if I do this, then I'll become beautiful. No, you are beautiful already because the beauty actually comes from the inside. It comes from your sense of self. And what we're doing is just becoming healthier, fitter, faster, stronger, physically. Those things, they don't make an inference on what your beauty is, but it might help you to feel more beautiful. And I think that's actually from the empowerment of it all.
Brixton girls, them a pop the pum pum, them a wind up them waist, them a pop the pum pum. Queens, them girls, them a pop the pum pum, them a wind up them waist, them a pop the pum pum. Trinity, them girls, them a pop the pum pum, them a wind up them waist, them a pop the pum pum. Jamaican girls, them a pop the pum pum, them a wind up them waist, them a pop the pum pum.
Yo, he in love with a ghetto girl. He's only one piece like Manowar. Pat pat on the kitty cat. He done messed with them regulars. He tryna kick it like a
I am a Benz Punani womanist. So, yes, I feel that is what I identify as. I identify as a Benz Punani womanist because I wholeheartedly support womanism, black feminism, whatever name you want to use for it. But at the same time, I also embrace the fact that I like dancehall music. I like hip hop. I like music that at times we find problematic because of the misogynistic nature of it, the misogynistic culture of it. I feel that by expressing that there is this conflict, then I'm able to navigate through it. And I feel that sums up my life as a whole. It's a merging of different, different conflicts. I think it's important for me to have this British passport. I know what it meant for my mum to get me to the point where I could have a British passport. For me, this passport symbolises the hard work that our parents' generation have had to put in, whether we realise it or not, or maybe it's their parents, but at some point, these people had to, get up from what they knew and come over here and try to make it work for our sake. All these opportunities, the fact that I can be here, the fact that I have the education that I have, that's a testament to the hard work of my parents. And I guess, this symbolises that. Growing up, the different things that happened, and when I was at school, I remember very, very vividly, I was in primary school and I said to one girl, oh, I'm going to go and visit my, and I pronounced it auntie. She's like, oh, you don't say it like that. It's auntie. I think that was a pivotal moment where I realised that there was a difference. And I started from that point onwards to navigate with that difference in mind, not to let that difference hinder me, but to be aware of it. And I guess it made me work harder. Every time I look at this ring, I'm reminded of just how hard university was. I don't know who begged me, but I decided to go all the way to Liverpool to go to university, having never been to Liverpool, having no family or friends there. It was hard, it was tough. If we're talking about institutionalized racism, if we're talking about the prejudice that you feel when you're in higher education, I felt all of that, and at so many points I wanted to give up, but I didn't. And on the day that I was graduating, my mum took me to a store and spent crazy amount of money getting me this ring. So it's not how much it costs that matters to me, it's the fact that she recognized that it took all my strength to see that process through. And anyone else who's currently seen it through, I hope you get a ring too. My mum would definitely be the person who's shaped who I am now. You know, I won't romanticize it. It was a problematic relationship, but I feel that from that problematic relationship with my mum, I was able to learn about what it is for her to be a black woman, what it is for her to be a black woman in this society, and how that translates to me, how she brought me up, and who and what she wanted me to be. I feel that I haven't always stuck with what she wanted me to do or who she wanted me to be, but just knowing what she wanted helped me to figure out in proximity, you know, where I was in life. And I'd say that most shaped it, not because it was maybe a direct influence, but it was an indirect influence. My biggest challenge as a black woman is refraining from sometimes backhanding people. That's important because what I'm saying there is I feel that as a black woman, I'm not entitled or allowed to be angry. My anger is already a stereotype, so if I try to express that anger, I'm fulfilling a stereotype, when really black women, black people definitely have a reason to be angry. They have a right to be angry because it's only through that they can work through the pain and the hurt that history so clearly depicts. Any psychologist will tell you that to hold an emotion in only causes you to implode, and it stunts you from growing. So I feel that a lot of the black community, a lot of black women aren't really being allowed to feel, and thus they are imploding. And I feel that the only way really to work through that is to not be scared of that stereotype, because what's funny is what's called anger, I usually just see it as passion. And it's called speaking out. It's labelled as anger when it's a black woman, and passion maybe as when it's describing a white woman, because already blackness infers a violence, it infers a savagery. Again, all of this is untrue. It was a mechanism that was used to enslave Africans in the past. And that's been perpetuated throughout history. All of it is done as a manner of dehumanizing the person, dehumanizing the women. I don't know really if black men get all that terminology as well in terms of anger. I know that they get the violence and everything else, but black women really get that angry trope because it's a way of silencing them. If you can tell someone that the moment that black woman over there opens her mouth, she's going to be angry, you stop listening to her. Whatever she's going to say is going to be irrational, and that's what's perpetuated. The irrational, savage black woman, let's not listen to her. When the most irrational, illogical things I've heard have been from people of non-black heritage. To connect would mean to really, really feel that anger. I mean, James Baldwin talks about it. To be aware is to be angry. So what do you want? Do you want to live in a constant state of anger all the time? Or do you just want to brush it off your shoulders and carry on? But the reality is that you can't brush it off your shoulders, because you probably didn't get that promotion because you're black. You probably didn't get that taxi stopped for you because you're black. So however much you try to run away from it, the anger will find you, and it will come out in other forms. And where it does actually come out, the anger comes out between black women. Black women show that anger to each other. So sometimes there's this thing, you hear a lot of guys say, oh, you know, girls just don't get along, black girls just don't like each other. Although that is a generalization, there's some truth in it, in that we see each other and we see the pain and we see the anger, and we'd rather not see that. It's almost like a mirror's being held up to you and you don't feel like you're looking your best, you turn away. What I know to be true is that black girls are magic, and that we should also let black girls live. That's from Siana Bangura, Let Black Girls Live, and she inspires me, and what she says is true. Whenever I'm out and about walking, There's a silent salute that I do when I just see black women just living their lives. The fact that we're still here is a testament to how magical we are. Because of that magical nature of black girlhood or womanhood, persevering regardless of all the barriers and violences that are inflicted upon us, we still persevere to be sparkly and strong. Strong in the sense of not strong black woman, but just strong in the sense that we still want more and we're going to get more. We have to just continue seeing ourselves and literally seeing ourselves. So, you know, not just when I walk through the streets and I see black women and there's a silent salute, there has to be an actual physical one. That's why social media plays such a huge role, because we were able to create a community for ourselves and reflect ourselves. And lo and behold, the corporations came and wanted to take from that. But what's now being created can't be undone. Look at the correspondence that was sent between myself and this woman, you know, regarding this twerk incident. I made sure I left it as, thank you, no worries, that's fine. Because anything else, if I'd said anything that was in any way critical of how she had spoken to me, even if someone else could have seen it as rude, if I'd said anything that contested her behavior, suddenly the onus would have fallen on me. I would have been the wrong party, or, you know, the person that was in the wrong. So rather, I just didn't say anything. And then I took it to Twitter and displayed it there. And I think that that's what needs to happen more and more. We need to take it to our communities and say, this is happening. So then that way we can deal with it together. Eventually, when they see that more and more people are speaking up, something has to be done. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith, she tried similar, talking about the Oscars. We know there's an injustice there, but unless more people speak about it in the community and say, we are going to stand against this together, nothing really will get done. She'll just seen as the moany, the whiny black woman. And it's only because of the conversation that she forced to get going that people are talking about it now, that the Academy are talking about making changes. What those changes will actually do, I don't know, but at least the conversation has started. We can navigate that. You're going to encounter so many people in life who are going to say to you, maybe you're not pretty, you're not smart enough, or always try to kind of objectify you based on an outward perception of you. It's important to be aware that what they're saying doesn't really matter, because only you know who you are. And at the same time, taking that awareness and being carefree with it. Only you can define who you are, not your mum, not your dad, not your teacher, or not Becky from up the road. Just you. If you can eat chicken unseasoned, what can you not do in this life? What crime can you not commit? Wait, just process that.